Welcome to the Collective Experience by the Brwngrlz Collective, a dynamic platform where we celebrate innovation, creativity, and the power of Black excellence. Each episode, we sit down with change makers, visionary industry leaders, and groundbreaking entrepreneurs across the worlds of fashion, tech, education, business, and more. This is more than just an interview series. It is a space where stories are shared, wisdom is exchanged, and inspiration flows. Together, we are building a community that thrives on collaboration, empowerment, and the drive to uplift one another. So get ready to meet these women redefining industries and shaping the future. This is the Collective Experience, where we take center stage.
Welcome to the Collective Experience, brought to you by Brwngrlz Collective, your space for inspiration and connection. I'm your host, Jasmine, and today we're excited to introduce Destiny Kennedy, a passionate storyteller who has dedicated her life to the art of sharing compelling narratives. With a bachelor's in broadcast journalism and a minor in film and media from the University of South Carolina, her journey began in the world of acting, where she discovered the transformative power of storytelling. Whether through the lens of a camera or the pages of a script, she brings stories to life with depth and purpose, bridging the worlds of news and film. Let's dive into her inspiring journey and explore her unique perspective on the power of storytelling. So, hey, Destiny girl, how you doing?
Good. How are you doing, Jasmine?
I am great.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, so glad you were able to come and join us, and so we can get to know you a little bit better, and share you with the Brwngrlz Collective, of course. So first we're gonna start with this or that. So we're gonna start with a little icebreaker,
Awesome.
just to get you warmed up. So let's spin that wheel. All right, so brick and mortar business or online?
That's a hard one because I think both are really good, but obviously, as technology continues to expand, people like having things at the touch of their fingertips.
Right.
And so that's why Amazon is so successful, right? And especially during the pandemic, it was like now you have Instacart and all these things where people can just order it online, bring it straight to their door. But then a brick or mortar, it's like having those people come in, really connecting with your customers, I think is an important thing. But I would have to say, just because of the times we're in, online business.
Yeah, for sure. Online for me, I would rather just order online or, even have my business online I love having people interactions, but when I want to have people interactions.
Right. And that's a big thing too.
Yeah, with the actual store, you have to be there. Like, you can't be like, I don't feel like going, you gotta go.
Yeah,
online,
that's
it's kinda
true.
like, okay, I don't really have to worry about nobody bothering me. But
And if you're a one-woman show, it's easier
yeah,
probably to have it online than to have a store, and then you have to worry about employees and all of these things that go into that. Yeah.
right. But different strokes for different folks. Let's spin the wheel again. So heels or sneakers?
Well, that's actually easy for me. Heels.
Okay.
I'm heel obsessed. Every time I go in the store, I just feel like with an outfit, the shoe really makes it, in my opinion, because you can have just like a basic top, some nice jeans, and then you got some shoes that are really making a statement and a
Mm-hmm.
bag to match with it, and that's the outfit, and you didn't have to do too much.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. I'm a sneaker girl though. I ain't gonna lie,
You're a
because
sneaker girl?
I used to love heels. Like I used to do the same thing. If I go to a store, I'm looking at the heels immediately. I got to. That's top of the list. Now I done got older, child. I don't got time. My feet be hurting. Give me some sneakers, and I'm
Well,
good.
now they have the little kitten heels, and that helps.
Yeah, I did buy some. Did buy some
I
little
love
kitten.
a kitten. I'm so glad that they brought that style back because
Right.
before it was all about the stilettos,
Mm-hmm,
and now the
mm-hmm.
kitten heels are returning, and
Yeah.
everybody's getting them. And I'm like, I love this moment for us. I love
The
this.
kid heels are definitely a good alternative for sure.
Yes.
Okay, let's spin the wheel one more time. Okay.
Major love to our sponsors for stepping in to make all of this happen. IAS Games for family and friend game nights. Out the Barns Entertainment for your video editing needs. Camera Guys Inc. for video photography and your editing needs. Intro music by Sedasia and music provided by Drea. Your contributions keep us going and help us grow.
All right, so we got makeup or no makeup.
Oh, I love makeup. For a long time, I was a makeup artist
Mm.
for an agency in Colombia. I would do their photo shoots, and whenever they had their showcasings, I would do the makeup for everyone. And then outside of that, so I really, really have a love for makeup.
Okay.
But I have a love for healthy skin too.
Mm.
And so as I've gotten older, I'm getting away from wearing as much as I did when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I would have to say though, makeup because lip
Okay.
gloss counts,
Lip
mascara
gloss does
counts. So even
count.
if you're not doing a full beat and you just got a
Mm-hmm.
little lip gloss, a little liner. So I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
go with makeup.
Okay. So if you put it like that, then I would say makeup, but I really don't wear like you said, I wear like a little lip gloss. I might do I'm gonna do my eyebrows for sure and my lashes, and
Right.
I'm good there. Like that's
Yeah.
not me. But before I used to like I'm gonna wear a beat face. I can't go nowhere. I need to put my makeup on.
Yeah. And
But
now
yeah,
I'm like over it because of news. We have
mm,
to wear it all the time.
yeah,
Um, so then I was like, oh gosh, I want my skin to have a break.
yeah.
I'm less of a beat girl, more on the natural vibes that are going on. And that's becoming really popular too, where everybody's like, you don't need that much. Like you said, do your eyebrows, lip gloss,
Mhm.
lashes if you want, or a little mascara and keep it moving.
That's it. That's all you need. All right. So, I just want to get to know you a little bit. Just where are you from originally?
So I'm from Colombia. I was born in Washington, D.C.,
Mm.
but I didn't get to spend a lot of time there. So raised in Colombia, a Southern girl to the roots,
Okay.
cornbread and collard green fed.
Hey. I know that's right. And ain't nothing wrong with it. I've been in the South for quite some time. So yeah, so like you went to did you go to high school? I mean not high school, but did you go to college here?
Yes, so I went to USC, go Gamecocks.
Okay.
Yeah, which
Clemson
was
fans
actually
don't get
really
mad.
good. I know. We're doing pretty good too.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited about that because even in like middle school, high school, going
Mhm.
to a USC game it is a tradition. And my family are big USC fans, so going to that school was really cool.
Yeah. So is that like it is like a family tradition? Like your family, a lot of people in your family graduated from there or went to school there?
Not that they graduated from there, but big fans of the football team, of the basketball team. And so I was like, okay, if I go to a school, I want to go to USC.
Of course. Yeah. Makes sense. It's only right.
And then they also shout out to the broadcast journalism program, which I graduated from. Great program. I can't rave enough. It really prepared me for my career in journalism. And when I got into it, I didn't feel like, oh my gosh, this isn't what I expected. It was like, no, this is exactly what I expected, because they really trained us so well and showed us the ins and out of the industry.
Okay. So highly recommend if that's a school that you want to go to for journalism.
Yes, the broadcast journalism program is excellent. Not a lot of programs do that. Monday through Friday, we were functioning like a newsroom, and we would switch off roles. So one day I'd be a reporter, the next day I'd be an anchor, the next day I would be the producer, the director. So you really, really get that hands-on experience.
Yeah. And you learn the whole thing. You don't just learn one thing. You learn the whole
the whole thing. Everybody has to rotate. They even had us doing the weather. So yeah.
That's hilarious. Well, I mean, listen, if you had to do it, you knew what you had to do.
Right. And it gave you the opportunity to see what you want to do. So that was nice. Going through those different roles. So if you weren't sure about one role and then you fall in love with another. So excellent program.
Yeah. And I'm sure doing that, a lot of people probably went in thinking they was going to do one thing and ended up doing something else.
Yes. A lot of my classmates were like that.
Yeah. Did you start off with like a specific thing and then you ended up doing being a journalist? Or
so I have my associate's degree in paralegal studies.
Okay.
And I say this to say that I've always had a love for lifestyle and entertainment, acting. Like that's always been my realm since I was a little girl. I performed, did plays, did theater. I always loved that. And as I got older, I was saying, if it didn't pan out the way I had it in mind, what would I do?
Right.
And so I thought, I want to kind of be like a Nancy Grace. And Nancy Grace is, broadcast, but she's also a lawyer, and she gives her opinion about crimes. And obviously we know true crime is like such a huge phenomenon. Like people love watching a true crime story, which is kind of like a bad thing. But me too. I'm like sitting there eating my bag of chips, watching each and every episode late at night, scared, going back to my door to make sure it's locked.
Ridiculous, right?
So I was like, okay, I could see myself doing that. So I wanted to see if I would like law. So I did the paralegal program at Midlands Tech College. And I loved that program. I learned so much. And, the law is just so interesting. So I did that. And then I said, okay, I'm going to get my bachelor's in broadcast journalism, but I also don't want to stray too far from acting and film because I have that's my first love. So I minored in film and media. But then once I got there, I was like, you know what? I mean, I can still do those things. I can wear many hats.
Right.
So I kind of just want to see where God takes me.
Right.
And not plan so much. So if one day I'm Nancy Grace, awesome. If the next day I'm Oprah, awesome. So I'm just like, yeah. So honestly, I went in, I found out more about like entertainment and lifestyle journalism. And I was like, that's where I would want to be. That's my realm. That's always been my love. So once I got there, I was like, okay, I don't have to not necessarily settle for something else, but I don't have to stray too far from what I've always dreamed about. And so I said, lifestyle. I really want to do lifestyle. I really want to go into entertainment. I basically want to be the next Oprah Winfrey. And
Right.
so far, so good.
So far, so good. Working your way there. That's all that matters.
I'm working my way there. I started, as soon as I graduated, I went into news. My professor, he recommended that to me. He was like, if you want to do lifestyle, go into news first, because then they can't deny you, because it's so much work and you'll build so many skills, and then you can work your way to lifestyle. So it's a blessing for me that I did a year as a news reporter, and now I am a lifestyle reporter and producer. So that's my next journey that I'm on currently, and so I'm excited about it.
So say that again. You do what now?
So I'm a lifestyle reporter / producer.
Okay.
Yeah. And then lifestyle is pretty much the happenings around a community. So I'm in Myrtle Beach now, so we cover restaurants and shopping centers, amusement parks, anything, concerts. So it's kind of a wraparound of the entertainment and the lifestyle things that are happening, for people to know about.
Right. Okay. That makes sense. So speaking of that, we're going to talk about, I wanted to go into the introspective. So basically, what would be one misconception about being a lifestyle reporter / producer?
I think because when people watch lifestyle, and even when I was watching it before entering into it, it looks so fun, and it's a really fun time, but it's also very, very hard, and we juggle with a lot. My light just died on me, but it's very hard, and we juggle with a lot, because a lot of lifestyle shows have a small team. The news side of things, it's a bigger team because they have a lot more shows to cover. And we have a lot to cover too, but we have to do it with a smaller team. So as fun as it is, it's a lot of hard work as well.
Okay. So like, what does your team look like? Like, for somebody who doesn't know, like what size would that be? Like, how many people, what they got going on?
Okay, so we are a part of the marketing team. So we have a lot of people that help bring us stories.
Right.
But as far as boots on the ground, I'm the reporter and the producer.
Right.
And then we have a host, and she is also the executive producer. And then we have a photographer. And then that's us out in the field. So those are the people you see out in the field, recording everything. Obviously, we do have our technical side of everything. So we have our TMPs that help when we're recording a show in studio, and we have our graphic team and all of that. But as far as going out and filming the shows out in the field, I do that, our host does that, and the photographer does that. So a small team, but mighty.
Right. Because y'all have multiple hats, basically. So you do have to fill the spots for people who may have been able to, do that. So, okay.
Right.
Okay.
And like I said, that's a lot of the lifestyle. It's a smaller team.
But in that, so basically in that, if you do have a smaller team, most likely everyone is wearing multiple hats. Basically, everybody is doing more than one thing. Okay.
And it kind of is like that as well in on the news side, as far as when it comes to reporters, we really aren't called reporters anymore. We're called MMJs, which stands for multimedia journalists. And that's because we're filming our own B-roll, we're shooting our interviews, we're writing our scripts, we're editing it, putting it together, and then we're sending it back to the news station for it to air. And then we have to go live and report it. So that's a lot of the jobs many people in the news industry wear multiple hats.
Gotcha. Okay.
Whereas back in the day, the reporter would just report. There would be a photographer with them. The photographer would help edit things. So now it's kind of like we're compacted and we're able to do all those things.
Sorry. Sorry, she just threw me off because she sent me a text message. All right, so I know that you're also an actress as well, right?
Yes.
Okay.
It's my first love.
That's your first love? So what about in those aspects? Like what will be a common misconception about being an actress?
I think because I've also had the opportunity to be an acting coach in my hometown in Columbia, and we get little kids and we have teenagers and tweens and adults, and I think the biggest thing is that people think it happens right away. And just like life, everything's a process, and progress isn't always linear. So I think the biggest thing is people think it happens overnight, or they think if they don't get the first yes, that they should just quit or give up. And, in some instances, maybe it's not your calling. Maybe it's something you tried and it didn't work out. But a lot of the greats, if you hear their story and what they had to do to get to where they are, to being, great and the GOAT of their craft, they heard millions of no's before they got one yes. One yes. So I think that's the biggest thing that a lot of times, and especially people coming up now, it's like they're entitled in a way, and it's like as soon as I want it or say I want it, then then and there is when I should get it. And it doesn't work like that. You have to, it's a building block. Rome wasn't built in a day. It's a process. And with each no, it builds character, but it also helps you for the next part of your journey. So I think that's the biggest thing, that it's just a process and it doesn't happen overnight. And, when people see you on TV and things like that, they just think, oh, you've made it. And it's like, no, I'm still making it.
Right. Yeah, we've been hearing a lot about that, especially with like actors and even singers. Sometimes they just, just because we see them doesn't mean that they have made it to the point to that where they're trying to go, right? So they may not be famous yet, or have a whole lot of money yet, just because we saw them. It takes time. You gotta get to that level first. So, like you said, gotta go with the process. Trust the process.
Trust the process.
Right.
And then remembering, my mom always taught me, and now that I'm older, it's a blessing. It can also be a bit of a curse, but that I was never a quitter. So even if I was at a job, like back when I worked in a restaurant, if things were difficult, I didn't quit just because they were difficult, because you can go somewhere else and it's difficult too. Right. So just kind of figuring out how to find resolution where you are. And I say it can sometimes be a curse, because sometimes I don't like to walk away because I'm not a quitter. but sometimes the things aren't good for your, mental health and things like that. You need to walk away. So learning the difference of that. But I say that to say that a lot of times people are so quick to quit because they're not seeing the results right away. And like going back to what we were just saying, it's a process. So it might be that you heard no 5 times, and on the 6th time, you're going to hear a yes, but you gave up on the 5th time.
Or you gave up on the 3rd time.
Right.
Like you gotta
right. Or you gave up the 1st time.
Exactly.
Or you didn't try at all. So,
yeah, you got to get through that. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and get into the questions. So this one is basically about passion and identity, right? So what inspired you to start your journey, and how does your personal story connect with the work you do today?
I think what inspired me was I have 2 older brothers, and we're about 15 and 13 years apart.
Okay.
And so basically, as I was growing up, they were leaving the nest. And so even though I have 2 brothers, I kind of felt like the only child. And I have 2 brothers on my mother's side specifically. But I felt like the only child in a way. So where I kind of found my love for what I do now is I just would be home watching films and movies, and I would kind of get engulfed in that world of whatever that story was, and the power of how a story made me feel, whether it was like Lilo and Stitch, and learning, about family and friendship and going on an adventure. And then I would take my little Barbies and create a film myself with them. And I remember going to my mom and I just told her, like, I want to do that. I want to make people feel the way I feel when I watch a film.
Right.
And so from there, if I was interested in something, my mom, which I really, really love about her, is that she was like, all right, we're going full force. So you want to be an actress? We're going to an agency. We're getting you headshots. I'm taking you to the auditions, and we're going to do acting classes, and you're going to do singing lessons and all of these things so you can become this performer that you want to become. So honestly, she sowed that seed in me and told me I could do it. And with her support, I was like, okay, let's do it. And from there, I went into theater classes all throughout middle school, all throughout high school. I got inducted into the Thespian Society. I was with an agency, so I got to do projects and go to California. So things like that just kept that fire. And I'm a big believer that when you have a dream and you have a vision and it's constant, that means it's for you. But it's a process, like we said, so it's not going to happen overnight. So like I've been acting and modeling and doing things since I was a child, and I've had great opportunities, and I wanted to further that with education, so I went to school for it. And I like to read about people that inspire me. So when I say like Oprah Winfrey, her career, her path, and how she got where she is today. And obviously, I'm not following it to a T because Oprah is Oprah and I'm me.
Right.
But she started in news, and from there, found her way kind of in the lifestyle realm of things, and host, and from hosting, produced, and then started acting, and then started creating shows herself, and now has her own network. So what I found was there's more than one way to get to where you want to be. And so I don't want to limit myself by saying, oh no, I got to live in California and that's the way I'm going to make it. Or I got to live in Atlanta and that's the way I'm going to make it. So I'm still, doing my auditions and stuff, but also I'm going to go to school for broadcast and minor in film. And then I'm going to go into news and and so I can constantly use these skills of editing and writing scripts and producing, and now I'm going into lifestyle. So now I will get to do more of the entertainment side of things. And then eventually I hope to go into film and media reporting, and then, you know, act and write scripts and all these things. So just not limiting myself. And it all stemmed from, you know, just being a little girl in my room watching films, going once like computers became a big thing. I know I'm sounding like I'm aging myself, but when I was
But
really young, computers weren't like
like that
huge. And then
big,
we got the desktop.
Mhm.
Aging myself. I'm not even that old, but I don't remember. I just never had, and maybe it was just my mom. She just wasn't big into technology like that. So I didn't have like a tablet or a cell phone or a
So
computer.
did
Like I
your
just had my
friends have those
TV.
things? No.
Right.
Did your
Yes,
friends
they
have those
did.
things?
They
Oh, okay.
did. And
Okay.
then like as I got older, then we had a desktop, and like I did my homework there, and then I would like go on YouTube, and I would look at all these actors and learn about their stories. And E News used to do a segment at night, and it was kind of like about a specific actress or actor and where they came from and how they got to where they are, just talking about their journey. And I would love watching that, like, because then it would inspire me.
Right.
So yeah, that's where it
Yeah.
all stems from. And then, like I said, my mom just never allowing me to quit. So let's say I did tell her, I remember I wanted to do ballet because I was just trying things. I knew I wanted to be in arts.
Right.
And after I did it, and I was still kind of nervous to perform in front of people. So I remember a
Mhm.
play was coming up, and they were like, oh, how we all had to audition. And my mom was really excited for me, but then I was like nervous, and I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. Well, she was like, well, no, you have to finish out the program. You
Right.
know, it's okay that you realize you don't like it, but you're not a quitter. So you're going to finish out the program. And at the end of
Right.
the program, if you don't want to do it anymore, you don't have to do it anymore. But if I started something, I always had to finish it.
That's good. That's good. She engraved that quality in you, so
Yeah.
you that's good. So, what about your business, right? So, what sets your business apart, or what you do apart, um, and how does it impact your industry?
Behind the scenes, there's a lot of hard work that goes into this production, and we couldn't do it without our amazing sponsors, advertisers, and crew.
I think for me, I'm still working on setting myself apart, showing more of myself, because sometimes I get very consumed in like one task, but it's important to kind of multitask to create your business, to create your brand.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm working on doing that so I can set myself apart. But what I will say when it comes to like impact, when I came into reporting and even into school, I was saying it was really important that if I was telling a story, it was not a story that's necessarily been told over and over again, but it was a story about people who felt misrepresented or underrepresented, and
Mm-hmm.
showcasing them. And I know a lot of times with the news, people feel it can be very depressing.
Yeah.
And when I spoke with a lot of people out in the community, it was like, oh, I feel like the news only comes here when it's something negative and not when it's something positive.
Mm-hmm.
So I tried really hard, and I think I accomplished that because I got feedback from a lot of people, you know, saying it was if I covered a story where it was something negative in a community, I would then try to go back and find out what's happening positive in that community. And that way it's somewhat of a balance, because, bad things happen all the time. And a lot of times that's why people tune into the news to see, what they need to avoid or what's happening. But it is important. And that's why I really like Lifestyle, to showcase positive things that are happening in the community, especially in the times we're in, where it just feels like every day there's something new that's negative. So, and that's the same thing with acting. Like, I love doing roles where we're telling a really great story with substance.
Right.
And so I feel like in both of those things, it can sometimes intertwine in the impact that I want to create, which is just like telling stories that are important, that maybe many people haven't heard of, and highlighting not only the struggles, but the victories.
Right. So just to go deeper into that a little bit, I want to ask this next question, which is, what is your why? So what keeps you motivated even when times get tough? Because I know that you mentioned that you doing it because you want to, you want to highlight the good things in the community and stuff like that. But we all have days. So like, what keeps you going through those times?
I think the thing that keeps me going, which is kind of a two-parter. So for myself, like I said, I've always had this dream since I was very young. And I think whenever I'm making strides or adding, new skills to what I do, I remember the young me and almost wanting to make my younger self proud.
Right.
And then also with that, because my mom sewed so much into my dreams, making her proud, and also showing her that all the money, all the time that she invested in me, it wasn't in vain. Like, I didn't just do it because I was like, I want to do it this day, and then the next day I don't. Like, showing her, like, hey, I've been working at this and I'm continuing to work at it. And then another part of it is that saying, like, if you find what you love doing, you'll never work a day in your life because you love it so much. I know this is what I love to do. I know the way it makes me feel, even when it scares me. After I do it, I'm like, I want to do it again and again and again. So I want to work towards getting to the thing that I love to do, which is to create. And whether that be in acting or hosting or producing or writing, it's all of those things. And so when I do it, I feel good. I feel really good about myself. And I feel like I'm doing the thing that makes me happy. So I think those are my whys. And then also when I was younger and I was looking, at movies, at shows, and I saw someone that looked like me, it made me feel like, oh my gosh, I can do this. So I also hope to do that for other, Black girls, and even like my nieces, and my nephew, like, looking at me and be like, Auntie Destiny is doing that. I can do that if that's what I want to do. Or they can do it in some other field. But just knowing, hey, I can keep going and I don't have to settle. And if this is where I want to be one day, I'm going to work hard at it.
Right. That's dope. So, I mean, what do you have? Like, I know that you're not an actress, like I said. So what are some of the things that you have done? Like, what projects have you been on?
So for the first time, I was the leading lady in a film called Son of the Preacher Man, which is on Amazon. and it's also on Tubi, and it's also on DVD now.
I saw
And
that.
it has won several awards at film festivals.
Mhm.
The Black Charlotte Film Festival, it won an award for. That's the one I actually got to go there, but it's won several awards. And so if you want to watch that, you can always watch that. I've also
Okay.
done some background work. I've had the opportunity to do plays and productions in Colombia where I got to kind of like, you know how like Tyler Perry does his plays, or he did his plays and then turned them into movies.
Right.
So
Mm-hmm.
I've had opportunities to be in stage plays like that.
Okay.
But more recently, it's been the Son of the Preacher Man film. And then once I got into news, I've kind of drawn back from acting just because that's such a full-time job. But
Mhm.
I definitely want to get back into it. And in the meantime, between time, I have been an acting coach and
Oh,
teaching in Columbia. Um, and I would go back and forth, and I also pop in when I'm there on the weekends. So at the Diabru agency.
okay. I have to check out some acting classes. See if I got
Yes.
stuff. No, I'm just kidding. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and get into legacy and impact. So what impact do you hope to make in life, and how do you see your legacy inspiring other Black and Brown women to pursue their dreams?
I think the impact that I would like to make is to, and it sounds cliche, but when I'm out there and I'm working and I'm meeting different people, I think a lot of times we see or hear a lot about our differences, but honestly, we're so much alike.
Mm,
And it doesn't really, sometimes it doesn't even matter your background, but we all have, at the end of the day, those natural human struggles that we go through. You know,
mm-hmm,
where some days we wake up and it's not the best day for us, and it feels like everything's going wrong, or
mm-hmm.
when you lose a loved one, and things like that. So when I go out in the field and I'm meeting people, I love that quote where it's like people might not remember what you say to them, but they'll remember how you make them feel.
Mm-hmm.
And I think in my work and in my just everyday meeting people, I want to make people feel good.
Yeah.
And so that's why I want to do the thing that makes me feel good, because what happens is when you're, living in your light,
Right.
that's what people feel.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to
Yep.
ooze out of you.
Right.
It's going to show up. So it's like kind of like that story of like if somebody came to school and they were a bully, maybe they're having a hard time at home. So
Mm-hmm.
just making sure my home, my heart is positive and filled with
Right.
love. And then that's what I'm going to give to
Mm-hmm.
someone else.
Yeah.
So that's the impact that I definitely want to leave. And I I am African American, but I'm also Panamanian, so I'm an Afro Latina. And
Mm-hmm.
so I definitely, again, going back to what I said, when I'm doing what I'm doing and I'm out here and I'm facing my fears and pushing myself, I definitely want to be a role model in that regard of just like, hey, I can push myself, and if they see me, they see themselves and they're like, oh wow, she's doing it, I can do it. Because I'm
Yep.
no better than anyone else. So if
Mm-hmm.
if it happened for me, it can happen for you too.
Right.
But it's just about how much work you're willing to put into it. And
Gotta
that's
put in that
what
work.
will
Yep.
set people apart. It's not that they're better than you,
Yeah.
and maybe they
Mm-hmm.
had a better opportunity than you, but we'd also know of stories where people didn't have any opportunities and they've
Mm-hmm.
reached their goals.
Yep.
So it really boils down to how much work are you willing to put into it. Sometimes
Right.
how much are you willing to sacrifice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
You
so,
you have to have that in you for sure.
yeah,
You
you
gotta
have
work.
to,
Mm-hmm.
because someone can give you the tools, but if you're not willing to build, then
Mm-hmm.
that's all you're going to be left with are the tools.
Yeah. It's just gonna be sitting there.
Right. Collecting dust. So I think
So
ultimately that's what I want to leave behind. I want
mhm,
to show people the importance of work ethic. I want to impact those that look like me and even those who don't look like me,
right.
because again, something that I feel like we forget is that we're all
Mhm.
human,
Yeah.
and kindness and love and compassion is so very important, so vital, especially at this time, because it seems like we're lacking that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I
Yeah.
definitely want to be a role model for those in my community, for those outside of my community, and just showing them that you don't have to settle and the limit does not exist
Right. The limit is only there if you put it there.
if you put it there.
You gotta
You
put
can
it
go
there.
as far as you want to go.
Mm-hmm. That's the truth. All right. So moving kind of into that way, it would be like paying it forward, right? So what is one piece of advice or wisdom you would share with the next woman stepping into this space? And what's one question you'd love to ask her? And I kind of feel like you've already kind of asked that question, but I'm gonna let you go ahead. What's one piece of advice that you or wisdom you would share?
I think the advice I would share, and kind of coming back to the theme of kindness, I
Mm-hmm.
spoke a lot about being kind to other people, but something I think we forget is being kind to ourselves.
Yeah.
Um, we're not perfect. We're never gonna be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm speaking to myself when I say this too, because people give advice, but do they take their own advice is a big one. But
Yeah.
you have to be kind to yourself. You have to be okay with making mistakes because that's how we grow.
Mm,
And I'm really hard on myself. And usually, if you're a person that you care about your work and you want to be successful, you're going to be hard on yourself too.
yeah.
So just remembering, like when someone else messes up, we look at them and we tell them it's okay, it's going to work out. Like it's not the end of the world. But we don't say that to ourselves when we mess up.
Mm-hmm.
So I think just being kind to yourself, and the tongue has the power to speak life and death.
Right.
So put out positivity, you know, build yourself up, gas yourself up, be your biggest cheerleader, be your
Mm-hmm.
salesperson. I
Mm-hmm.
think that's really important. And that's something when I was entering into the broadcast journalism industry, there was a point in time where I was like not being that kind to myself, and I just felt like, oh, am I doing good? And maybe I made a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
And then right as that was happening, I got nominated for an Emmy,
Mm,
and I won a scholarship to a investigative reporter conference. Is one of the bigger ones that a lot of journalists go to, but it's really expensive. So they give reporters the opportunity and producers to apply for scholarships, and if you win one, you get to come and you don't have to pay anything. So
right.
all of that happened, and it opened my eyes because I'm like, whoa, I am doing good.
Right.
But why did I have to wait for someone else to validate me?
Right. Yeah.
So even though those things are really great, it taught me like, hey, if you make a mistake, you learn from that mistake. Moving forward, you know what to do. You're going to make
Right.
many more mistakes,
Mm-hmm.
and it's okay because it's a
Yeah.
part of the process. It's a part of the
Mhm.
progress as well. So I think that's what I would leave someone, just being kind to yourself and speaking positivity out into the world, starting your day with it because it will impact the rest of the day and
Mm-hmm.
then on. So just we have to be kind to ourselves, just like we're kind to a stranger. Like, you know yourself better than anyone. Be kind to
Mm-hmm.
yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
And then
like you
if
said,
I
you
had
can't.
to go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, if you can't, spew out bad things and then, and be just negative all the time and expect anything good to come. It just doesn't work like that.
And usually when you do, if you're
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, this isn't gonna work out or this isn't gonna happen, and then it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't happen. And
Exactly.
I don't know if people do that because they just kind of want to spare themselves. Like, you're like, maybe if I say all the bad things, then
Mm-hmm.
when something bad happens, I won't be as disappointed. I mean, maybe
Right.
that's the logic.
Mm-hmm.
And, we're human, so I get that logic. But I mean, we also know that good and bad things happen. So I'd rather just speak it positively out, put it
Right.
out, pray about it, and
Mm-hmm.
then, just kind of give it to God and be like, whatever happens, happens. I'm giving
Yeah.
it to you. And if it
Mm-hmm.
works out, great. If it doesn't, maybe something better is going to work out.
Yeah.
And most times that's what happens.
That is usually what happens. Something
Yeah.
better is definitely coming along. So don't even worry about that. That just wasn't meant for you.
Right.
Or at least not meant for you at that time. It may come
And
back
that's
around.
important too. Timing is
Yeah.
so important.
Mm-hmm. Because it may
Because
come back around,
and I know you probably know this too, just like sometimes, like you said, things come back around, but don't you look back and like, if that happened right when I wanted it to happen, it would have
Mm-hmm.
just fell apart because I wasn't maybe mentally strong
Yep.
enough or physically strong enough, or I didn't have the confidence, or I had to worry about this, so that would have took away from that.
Yeah. Yep.
So it comes back when it's supposed to.
Mm-hmm. When you're ready. You just wasn't
Yeah,
ready at the time. And that's okay.
that's okay.
Um,
It's not the end of the world.
it's not. Um, so do you have like a question that you would ask, or that you would love to ask that person as well?
I think the question I would ask that person is a question that you asked me. What is your why?
Mm,
Because also in life, and this has happened to me, when I was 18, I got my CNA
mm-hmm,
certificate. So that's a certified nursing assistant. And it was because I was looking up to my brother. My brother is a nurse. And I was
mm,
like, I want to, do what my big brother's doing. And then also it makes really good money. And then also this and that, comes
mm,
with it. But then as I was like going through that program and then, going into school and saying, okay, that's going to be my path. I was like, this isn't my passion. This is his passion. So why am I doing it?
right,
And if you realize that your why is because of someone else instead of
mm,
because of yourself,
right,
usually that's an indicator that you probably shouldn't be doing it,
mm-hmm, yeah,
because you can't base your happiness on someone else.
right.
It
Because
has to
they're
come from
probably doing
you.
it for a completely different reason than what you're doing it for. And
Right.
which is why they're probably happy doing whatever that is that
And
they're doing,
thriving and
driving and everything, and you trying to figure out why you're not getting it. It's not working for you. You're not happy. That's not where you're supposed to be, baby. Go ahead and try
right.
something else.
Like, here my brother, since he was a little kid, he always
Mm,
was like, I think really he wanted to be a doctor, but
mm,
that was always something he said,
right,
something he wanted to do. Um, and so that's why it works for him. That's
right.
why he's like really passionate about it. Anytime I have a conversation with him,
Mm,
he's like talking about all of these symptoms and this word that I never heard of or I can't pronounce and this and that. And he's like
right.
lit up about it.
Mm,
So yeah, it's like, okay, I can't do that for him. That's his passion. That's his journey. That's his dream. That's not mine. And so I
Right.
think asking why and is very important when you're going into anything. And so that's what I would always ask someone, why are you doing it?
Right. Yeah. That's a good question, which is why we asked it. But yeah, why do you want to do it is important. Um, that'll definitely set the tone for whether that's something that they should even be doing in the first place.
Right.
Um, but I think we are gonna go ahead and wrap it up. So again, it has been an absolute pleasure talking to you. Um, you know, I don't it's not I don't know if I watched that movie, but I feel like I have. So I gotta go back and The Preacher's Son because I feel like I've watched it. So I'm gonna go back and make sure because I think I watched it
Yeah,
before. But
you
I'm gonna have to
gotta
go
go
back and watch
watch
it
it.
this time.
Gotta go watch it. It's a really good story and a really great cast, and also um, Dr. Brandon Glover, who is the director, the writer. Like, it's his baby, it's his little project, and he has a great team behind him. But also, just he's so creative, and he's um, that was his first film.
Mm,
But he's done like short films and different projects, and he's helped people on their projects and things like that. But he was like taking his
right,
time writing this story and wanted to make sure that it wasn't half done,
right.
and rewriting and going back to the drawing board and making sure he has the right people on board. And I think that's such a testament, because that's why it has won so many awards in these film festivals, because people see the quality.
Yeah,
And so even though my face is on it, it really is the people behind the scenes that made it so great.
mm,
Because when you work with a great team, that just helps with the morale and the
right.
presence. So
Yeah,
it's a really is a good movie. And
yeah.
it's a nice faith-based film with some drama, with some romance, with some action. So it's a little bit of everything in
Oh,
wrapped up.
everything.
Yeah.
Okay. Again, I'm gonna go back and check it out. So again, but again, just thank you so much for being here and taking the time to talk to us and be a part of the collective experience. Do you have anything else that you'd like to share with our brown girls before we go?
Well, I want to thank you, Jasmine, for being such a great host. And I really had a good time talking with you and breaking down all of these things. And then if I wanted to leave something, I would say just believe in yourself, be your biggest cheerleader, and to pray, to
Mm,
pray.
yeah.
If you're a person of faith, because I
Hmm.
am. And one of my biggest things, my secret weapon, is that I pray and I give it to God. It's easier said than done, but
Hmm.
when I do it, and I look and He moves mountains,
For sure.
moves mountains.
Yep.
And so and it always reminds me, like, why do I ever doubt? It's like, it's crazy why I even doubt, because
Exactly.
each and every time He turns it around and works it
Hmm.
out for my
Yep.
good. So
Hmm.
I would
Like you
leave
said, it's
that.
easier said than done. A lot of times you just
Yeah.
got okay.
Because
It just
if worrying changes it, then worry all day. But I've
right.
never known or seen any results from worrying.
No,
It did nothing for me.
that high blood pressure, probably a little
Right.
anxiety, a
And
little.
anxiety and crying. But
For
the
real.
circumstances didn't change because I was worrying.
Exactly.
So
Hmm.
yeah, I would leave that.
Okay. Well, you enjoy the rest of your day. And y'all make sure y'all come back and tune into us. So you can check out the next amazing person we have on the show. See you later, Brown Girls. Thank you to our advertisers, sponsors, and everyone who made it possible. And of course, thank you for tuning in and being part of the Brwngrlz family. See you next time.
Oh girl, I love you just like Mary Jane. I give you everything. Damn, I hope you feel the same. Come and make it better, just like Mary Jane. Oh girl, I can't complain. I need your touch, can't get enough. Come and beat me up, it's just like Mary Jane. Beat me up from the middle of the club. You say you running low again, won't let me fill your cup. I got some papers in my section and some sponsors in the tuck. She been calling me Split Daddy, baby. Please don't gas me up. You can keep your mask, I don't want time with that. Tryna know your heart by the time we start, baby. Ain't no hiding facts. Maybe if you with it, we can start a tab. Break down them walls, you can let me in. I can be your quarterback. Come on, put our team right on the map. Oh girl, I love you just like Mary Jane. I give you everything. Damn, I hope you feel the same. Come and make it better, just like Mary Jane. Oh girl, I can't complain. I need your touch, can't get enough. Come and beat me up, it's just like Mary Jane. Oh girl, I love you just like Mary Jane.